Something that a position doesn't always have waiting for them is a contract. And one of those positions being the running back, where the running back position has kind of felt taken advantage of the past few years. I think some players like Najee Harris, Josh Jacobs, Nicholas Chubb being very outspoken about it, and then had a situation with Jonathan Taylor holding out. But you were telling me crazy fact actually about Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, so right now he's going to get $14 million out the gate, which is higher than every other player in that position right now. And he's never played a snap in the NFL, which is insanity. He's getting paid more than Christian McCaffrey this year.
Yeah, it's crazy that he's getting paid more than C-Mac, especially as a rookie coming out of college. You rarely see them get paid more than the highest valued position. Imagine if Caleb Williams came into the NFL next year and then was like, yeah, give me that Patrick Mahomes salary because you're taking me number 1 overall instead of the modest $10 to $15 million he's probably going to get out of the gate. So it's kind of a slap in the face to the position where you have these guys like Taylor, showed he could single-handedly demolish a team. You had Le'Veon Bell struggle with his contract. Had Josh Jacobs, who's holding out right now, and then Bijan Robinson just walks into the league and he's like, oh, I guess I'm the highest paid guy at this position. How about that?
Yeah, and even like guys like Austin Eckler, who's proven to be a really great receiving back. And then Christian McCaffrey, all these guys, they have to hold out to get their money, but like they never actually get paid what they're worth. Even Saquon, you saw Saquon hold out for pretty much all of the offseason just to get $11 million, somebody who's worth probably in that 14 range that we're talking about. So it's just the running back market's just kind of taking a dive right now. But speaking of that, Jonathan Taylor has officially got the okayed from the Colts to request to seek a trade partner. So at that point, with him most likely on the move from Indianapolis, some destinations that you see him going to.
Yeah, some destinations that I could see him going through. We got the news right before the show, and I was kind of spitballing teams, and like it didn't really make a lot of sense for most teams because they either had a running back, have to pay their quarterback or receivers upcoming. But I was thinking of one team that could be really interesting would be the Minnesota Vikings. And then the reason I say that is you lose Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook was kind of a little bit older. They want to get rid of him at least a year too early than a year too late. And he's still been productive the past few years, but they moved on from him. Now they have Alexander Mattson as the backup. And as much as I want him to be great this year, no personal things riding on it, of course, in my dynasty leagues. I think Jonathan Taylor, if you pair him with Justin Jefferson, you just drafted a great rookie wide receiver. You have Kirk Cousins, who's never really had a overly dynamic running game in Minnesota. Dalvin Cook was really good that 1 year, but it's kind of consistent 1,100 yards. If you can bring in Jonathan Taylor, plug some of the holes with your offensive line, someone you can lean on when Kirk Cousins maybe is playing in prime time and you want a star that can take over, I think that would make a lot of sense for them. Whether or not they do it, I'm not sure if they would, but they did show they'll go out there, take a gamble on someone like TJ Hawkinson. So why not do it with Jonathan Taylor and have arguably one of the best trios in the league when you go running back, tight end, and wide receiver?
Yeah, I love that for a couple of reasons. Like you mentioned already with Alexander Mattson, it's hard for me to believe that he's going to be the RB1. You have a run game that was pretty solid for you last year. Your O-line's pretty okay. You could definitely benefit from Jonathan Taylor, and I definitely think he'd be an upgrade from Dalvin Cook from last year. Just a more efficient runner, good pass catcher. Also, this is a team that's in a championship bubble right now. You know, they're trying to go all in. This might be the last year with Kirk Cousins. So they have a formidable quarterback. They have a defense that they went out and made some moves in the offseason for. So bona fide their defense. And then, like you mentioned before, they have all the talent on offense. You get them Jonathan Taylor, and this could be an unstoppable force. Yeah,
I think it would definitely make sense as a trio for Minnesota to go out there and pursue it, especially if you want to go all in this year, and then we're doing a rebuild, and then, well, if we're going to get rid of Kirk Cousins anyways, we bring in a rookie quarterback, and that contract can kind of balance out if you move on from Kirk Cousins at quarterback. So that's how it makes sense kind of contract-wise. Another team I think should swing and at least try and make a run for him is Dallas. I think Tony Pollard is someone who you kind of know what you're going to get from him, and it's not elite production. It's just very good production. Tony Pollard's a very good NFL player, so it's no disrespect to him, but he's not that flashy, big-name star that we've come accustomed to the Dallas Cowboys always seeking out with Ezekiel Elliott. So I think they're a team that if they're not feeling too burned by Zeke's contract, Jonathan Taylor's young enough, has really only had like 1 year where he had a high usage rate. I think that's a team that could go out there and make a swing for him just on name recognition alone. And you don't necessarily want to commit a ton of money to Tony Pollard, especially it wouldn't make as much sense if you're feeling burned by Zeke that you would pay Tony Pollard and not want to try and at least explore trading for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I see the vision there. Another team that I'm pretty high on, the Rams. They're always in the mix. And their running game right now consists of Cam Akers and a bunch of rookies. So why not go out there? You still have a pretty decent roster. You have Stafford. You have Cooper Kupp. You still have Aaron Donald. So that defense is surely to be formidable. So you go out there, you get somebody who's probably the best running back you've had since Todd Gurley. And for some reason, they still have picks somehow, some way, despite all the picks they've given up in the previous years. So I like the Rams here, especially the way with Sean McVay, the way he utilizes running backs.
Yeah, another player or team that's interested, at least Miami Dolphins are exploring this.
Yeah, so the Colts are asking for at least a first-round pick, but they want multiple picks that compensate like a first-round pick. Good luck to you, Indianapolis. I don't think you're going to get a first. Yeah, I mean, Miami, it's like you look at a team that has... You look at that roster, you're like, this team could go 17-0 just based on how their roster is. You're talking about like the Bradley Chubbs of the world, the Tyreek Hills. You have Tua, who was a Pro Bowl quarterback last year. Like, bunch of talent everywhere. And then Jalen Ramsey, best corner in the game.
Yeah.